Welcome to Trips Awakening. You subscribe to the truth, one within the universe, and the universe is inside me. Greetings, earthlings, and my loved ones. It would be an honor if y'all would join me. Bloodlines. Just because you're related doesn't mean that your siblings or whoever you related to share the same frequency. You know, I think it's called Ancestry or Ancestor.com, something like that, where they say they can trace back your bloodline and all of that. You know, which I think that's a bunch of mess because basically they want to see who you are, with that. You know, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But, I was thinking, how can they trace back your bloodline? Because when you come out that feminine energy portal and come to this universe, this low realm, you're basically sharing two bloodlines. You know, your sibling could come from another bloodline. You know, they could basically represent your fathers, or or you could represent your mother, or however, vice versa. Y'all get what I'm saying, okay? So that's basically impossible. It's totally two different bloodlines. You remember, like, sometimes when your parents would be like, oh, you get that from your mother's side of the family, or you get that from your father's side of the family. It's basically two different bloodlines going on. Okay, now this is what gets this gets really deep. Excuse me, but this is all jokes aside. This is something to really think about. The person you with, that your loved ones or whatever you want to call it, that you're in a relationship with, or it could be somebody close to you, or it could be a relative. The person that you in a relationship with could share the same bloodline. That's the reason why you connect, and y'all basically on the same frequency. Y'all could be related from another dimension or something like that. And what are your siblings? What I'm saying? They could represent another bloodline. It's two different bloodlines. So when Ancestry or Ancestor.com, whatever that mess is called, saying they can find out your background, that's basically impossible because it's basically two sides. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, they basically trying to see where dimension and portal that you come from. Because you remember when I told y'all your blood is your spirit. And your blood is going to remain on this realm, just to put that out there. So, like I said, it could go deep. Two different bloodlines, you and your relatives in another dimension could have been enemies, and when you come to this realm, some siblings don't get along because of two different bloodlines. You get what I'm saying? They could represent another bloodline, and you represent another bloodline, and that's the reason why y'all keep bumping heads and stuff like that. And I said a long time ago in my previous videos, just because you're related doesn't mean that you're sharing the same frequency. Just because you're blood doesn't mean, that basically doesn't mean anything. Because you and whoever you hang out with, y'all could be sharing the same bloodline, and that's the reason why y'all get along and y'all on the same frequency. That goes to like different types of relationships. You could be sharing two different bloodlines, and that's the reason why certain things doesn't work out in relationships. Because whatever happened before you enter this realm, like I said so many times, we're energy. So like I said, you could be on the same bloodline with a person you're in a relationship with. Y'all could be kin. It might sound crazy, they have it, what I'm saying, like a lot of things twisted. how can you think these 13 family or 33 families that's rich, they keep it in their bloodline and stuff like that? You know, so you got to overstand and understand. You could be kin to one of these beings out here that's with one of the 13th families and stuff like that. You know, and that's the reason why I always say you got to be careful how you treat people. You know, because you can hurt yourself. You can hurt your bloodline. You know, we come from other different dimensions. You know, some say planets because, you know, we're not the only beings on here. So, you know, just to put that out there, like I said, I like to open up people's minds. You know, that's just my way of thinking because it's two bloodlines. That explains why, you know, sometimes, well, basically in the universe be off balance sometimes because the energy, you know, it's bad enough. Like I said before, we got 800 megahertz going through our bodies and, you know, different chemicals in the air and, you know, the food and stuff like to keep you distracted. That, you know, it's just not the stuff that you see on the television. This smoke out here, you know, the chemtrails and your engine and stuff when you drive, that stuff can keep you distracted, you know, and different types of foods. That's a distraction because of the chemicals. Certain things latch on, you know, to throw you off. That's the reason why it's very important that you find your higher self and connect with your bloodline. You know, just to put that up. What? Did somebody say something?